Yo, it's HeavyHaul HQ, rolling with the crew, moving those big loads. Yeah, you know how we do. We got the ribs, the power of the mic, from dawn to dusk. We own the night. Oversized loads ain't nothing but a thing. Got the trailer stretched out, feel the metal sing.
Welcome back to HeavyHaul HQ. We actually have some really cool projects going around today, and I'm trying not to be lazy, and I'm going to go ahead and film everything where y'all can see it. We got some of our cooler customers. AJC is here. And then we have a cool project in Bay 4 where we're doing some Wheelin lighting on a lowboy. And we have a really cool new trailer that came without a floor. So let's take a look and I'll show you around. This is AJC HeavyHaul. They have one of their smaller trucks with just the tandem axles. But this project got completed about 6 months ago. He was back for a few little service and checkup on the trailer. But it has some of the cooler projects we've done. That's our light up badge that we do on some of the custom projects. And this whole trailer actually turns from DOT approved colors. So you have all your amber lights down the side. And then when you hit a switch, it's a remote control actually, everything turns to clear lighting because we thought that would match the best on this orange color. It's a MAC orange, but it's got really cool lighting on the back of the neck, and it's got these work lights, floodlights, with a little switch right here. So you hit that switch, and it'll produce a bunch of light back here onto the deck of your trailer or wherever your truck is moved to. So that way, if you're loading in the dark, you'll have substantial lighting. And you know, you never really worry about loading in the dark until it's wintertime. And then it's kind of dark all the time. They were also adding Airway Scales on this unit. So I'm gonna hop down there. You can see right here, he has some Apatong outrigger boards. We have a whole pile of Apatong over there, 2x12. So it's a little more expensive than oak, but it's gonna last much longer, unless you split it by putting a crusher on there. So let's see and take a look what they've got going on over here. What are you working on, Mr. Jerry? You picking it up? This is Jerry Cox with AJC HeavyHaul. If y'all need any heavy hauling services, they have about 8 or 12 trailers and trucks that can do all type of stuff, everything from stretch loads to 55-ton lowboys. They have a whole network of drivers and really good resources. Him and his wife do a fantastic job over there. Did they add your airway scale?
Yep.
They did. All right, so here goes the airway scale, everybody.
That's gonna get broke.
It's gonna get broke, but it's gonna be there till it gets broke. Undoubtedly, somebody will hit it with something, but he's gonna go take that and get it calibrated. And to get it calibrated, all you gotta do is you take the empty trailer up to the scale house. They'll give you an empty weight. You'll put it on your phone. There's a little application from Airway Scales. It'll hook up to Android or iOS. When you do that, it'll automatically connect to the Bluetooth in the scale, and then it'll ask you for the empty weight. Then you go back, the heavier the better, so get your heavier weight, and when you get that, you'll type in your heavy weight, go back by the scale, and now every time when you're going to get permits, you'll already be very accurate with your permits, so you won't have to overpay on permits, or you won't be at risk of overloading your trailer. I recommend these really highly to anybody that has wet stuff that they're hauling. So think mulch, refuse, a lot of stuff that can get wet, even some of your aggregates can get wet. And then that way you won't overload your trailers. We actually put them on a lot of these refuse trailers that you see behind me, and they'll pay for itself in the first trip. Don't tell anybody, the scale house won't love it. But you don't have to go an hour off route to get your weight. And they're accurate within about 20 to 60 pounds in most cases if calibrated properly. They have a 3-year warranty, and Airway stands behind their product. So I just wanted to give you a mention of that because it is fantastic. Like I said, it pays for itself the first trip. The kit for it's around $300 because they have 2 different kits for that one. So $300, and that's what I mean. It'll pay for itself first trip. Yeah, but this is a clean looking trailer. I wanted to show you guys this. Is it used guys or is it y'all? It's got the keyhole tie downs, up to 1/2-inch chain can go in those keyhole tie downs. We got a hammer plate on there, airlift on the 3rd axle, and you can see he's got that axle up off the ground right now. And you can kind of see here how high it is, very high off the ground. It's got chain lift on that 1st axle, so you'll drop all your suspension, Then you can chain up that first axle, cut off the supply to the airbags, and that's that little blue handle right there on top of the bag. You'll shut off both of those on both bags, and then that chain that's beside it, you'll tighten that up in the little keyway, little keyhole. So if you look right there, there's a little keyhole slot above that chain on the axle, and then your first axle will be off the ground. That'll be good only if you're like empty. Other than that, you just drive with the 2 axles on the ground. And then this is the override, strobe lights, the whole control panel. This is the new Gen 2 Fontaine Workhorse. And this one is really cool too, because it's 55-ton rated trailer with only an 18-inch loaded deck height. So you have 18 inches with 6 inches of ground clearance is how that reads. And then the last thing on this trailer, of course you see all the lighting. Hold on, I'll ask Jerry too if he'll swap them over. All the lighting is trucks accessories. We have the DOT tape is TM trailer cells. Goodness, I almost said DMT tape. You don't want that kind of tape. Jerry's gonna look and see if he's got the remote control. And then they got the oversized sign in the back. That thing is cool. So they just flip it down when they're not using it. We've made modifications to these over the years, time and time again, because it just catches so much wind that it can be hard to do. No matter what, it's a big wind cell back there. Oh my goodness, look at that. He's got the remote control in his hand. Those things look cool, man. Let me show you guys. Of course, it may not show up on camera that great, but that looks cool. And you can, all right, and then you can see them on the back of the neck. They look sharp, man. So that'll even produce about 400 lumens as work light. He's got the remote in his hand, so he keeps turning them off. But yeah, that'll produce another 400 lumens a piece as a work light. That'll, you know, all around the trailer, all those lights will be able to produce that work light around the trailer. And that's why we changed that TM trailer cells badge to a white color. That is so cool. So you have work lights all around the trailer. Functionally, all your DOT lighting will turn into a work light. So huge shout out to Trucks Accessories for making that possible for us. Now let's hop over to Bay 4. We're just gonna be able to get a update. Y'all working over there? Y'all got it? All right, yeah, it looks like they got some of the Wheelin lights going, so let's take a look. You can see them kind of sparkling behind me. That is so cool. So this customer, this is CNA Towing, or CNA Digging and Hauling. They got these huge Wheelin strobe lights with the chrome bezel right there on the side of their trailer. We got 3 down each side, so a total of 6 Wheelin lights on the side of their trailer. Dude, that is cool as all get out. So you can see over there, we got more. We got our wire loom out and everything to make them nice. And that way they'll be safe. So whenever they get in the water or any of that, it'll all be protected with wire loom and heat shrink tubing, making our custom lights. And then it looks like they got some of the Wheelin ion lights back there. And we got set up recently about almost a year ago now, but it took us a little while to get our products in, our first Wheelin products, but we do have Wheelin products on the shelf. Really cool light bars. Watch some of our short form content. And you can see 3 people that we've installed them on. We've sold many more, but Wheelin has the coolest 9 Edge X. I think it's a 9 Edge X, and is the coolest light bar on the market right now. So we got Mike here. He's actually about to put a flip axle onto this trailer, and he's got these little bitty ion lights. Those things are cool. And for such a small light, those things produce a tremendous amount of strobe. Really bright strobes. He's got them over here. Matter of fact, let's take a look. They'll do different patterns. These are the duo color. Highly recommend these. It's kind of a slim form for a lot of your trucks. The Peterbilts will take those big M6s, as you can see down here, and these can be duo color, and they can even produce light that'll be it'll be work lights. They'll have like their whole separate unit for work lights here. And I believe this is a 60-ton trailer. Let me look real quick. I think they got a heavier duty one. No, they got the 60 LCC, which is the lighter duty 60-ton, but it's really popular because it has an 18-inch loaded deck height, same as that orange trailer, but it's 60-ton rated frame and neck and all that. Full hydraulic controls on the neck. It can be operated with the pony motor or wet line, and it will allow for a 36-inch flip box. So this is just a monster. They call it a workhorse for a reason. And that reason is it'll outwork any trailer on the road in its class, best in class, by far. I wanted to show y'all 2 more things. I want to go take a look. There's a Landoll trailer that came in with no floor. The customer requested to not put a floor in it. And so my sales team did. I don't know what the customer is doing. I don't know what he's doing with the floor, what idea he has. Of course, he's gonna have to cover it with something. But this thing is unique for 2 reasons. It's right here. I'm gonna flip you around and let's take a look. We'll look together. So this is a Landoll 317. This is an E model. This is the newest iteration of Landoll 317. It's kind of interesting to be able to see all the skin and bones of the trailer, the meat and potatoes. You can see they've opted for, which is popular on the 317 model. So this one is like a 440. It's a traveling axle trailer, but instead of pivoting at the lower deck, it pivots from the 5th wheel, or the kingpin, however you want to call it. The 5th wheel plate is what we call it. So it has this big shaft. If I can get the camera to angle right here. This big shaft down the middle, a pivot right there, and then a big bar that pivots to your 5th wheel, your 5th wheel plate, right where the kingpin is. It looks like they've opted for 2 side mount toolboxes with the old school handles on them. A 20K winch on top, slide out steps, and then a 20K winch in the deck here. And some people like this trailer better. And the reason they do is that imagine if you were hauling semi trucks and you had one up on the upper deck, then you went to the second location to get a second semi truck. You could put it on the bed and you could still tilt off of that kingpin plate or the 5th wheel plate without having to unstrap and move the first semi truck. That was one of the use cases. But for other reasons, there's some advantages to having a 930, a 440, or this 317, and that's why they still make the 317 to this day. It looks like they opted for one of the really good features, which is that tire inflation system. It has Alcoa aluminum rims and the world famous high performance lighting package from Landall. Again, you can kind of see all the skin and bones underneath. So you can see the pins on the rollers back here. You can see down between the cross members, if I can get a good angle. It has the E-chain there, and you can see it again under here, that little plate, we call it an E-chain tray. You have all your grease Zerk fittings back here for your centralized grease system. So it'll run grease from here through a hose up to your slack adjusters, your rollers, your S-cams, and all your other components. Little tag light, the ID lights. Doesn't look like they got any strobes, just stop, turn, tail down through the back. And it looks like this customer also opted for the small little 1-inch D-ring, or I say small because it's shorter. Yeah, so those D-rings are cool. You can see the control panel over here where it's got 2 winches, axle forward, axle back, and tilt up, tilt down. You can see they have some other, options that they've opted out of throughout that control panel. One more slide out step. And it looks like they've removed the handle. This was just dropped off this morning. I like that. They even got a little nylon thing there for the handle. You can see the little plate to keep it running smoothly. One of the other cool things, and we're gonna get this going, is we're using these clamshells. So they have one on this side, one on the other. And what that's gonna do is allow you to add it's gonna add chain up to the axles. It's gonna add that chain up to the axles without having to weld the chain onto the axle. So I'll keep y'all posted about that. And then if you'll scroll over here to my office, I want to show you the glass watermelon lights. See it counting right there. Okay, so we're back over to my office. This is a glass lens on this, and it gives you that beautiful pattern. What's unique about these is they're multicolor. We're testing them right now. Because we want it to have Bluetooth functionality. So today's Monday. Wednesday, we're gonna talk back with, or engineering will have the Bluetooth ones available. So that's your white color. That's that beautiful blue color. And that is just really gorgeous. You can see how deep of a blue that is. That's your standard amber. This one's multicolor, so it'll do amber, white, blue, and red. But we can do pink, purple, green, all type of colors. Again, this was just our test one. This will cycle you through the colors, and this will slowly cycle you between each one. So you can kind of see where it's hitting a different part of the lens during each of them. And that's because the way the LED is shaped. So that one's fantastic, and then I want to show you the miniature watermelons. And then there's two different styles. This one I think is a low output miniature watermelon. So I just wanted y'all to see the pattern. Same kind of thing, we can do multicolor. Is it coming out okay? I want y'all to kind of see the pattern there, but then think of this one the same way. Okay, so hopefully you were able to see what the miniatures is a plastic lens, but that's fine. The traditional watermelon is a glass lens because that's what we needed to get that pattern. Both of them can be multicolor, both of them can be Bluetooth, so we're gonna order some in. We can do many different colors or several colors in one, up to you. And they're affordable. I think by the time I put Bluetooth connectivity in them, or either multi-wires, with the glass lens, large watermelon are gonna be around the $60 mark is what we're aiming for by the time we get imports, the import duties on them and all that, and shipping. And then the miniatures are gonna be somewhere around the $20-ish mark. It may go slightly over, and those will have the different functions in them as well. So as always, thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. And please be safe out there as you travel.
Yo, it's HeavyHaul HQ, rolling with the crew, moving those big loads. Yeah, you know how we do. We got the ribs, the power and the mic. From dawn to dusk, we own the night. Oversized loads ain't nothing but a thing. Got the trailer stretched out, feel the metal sing. Trucks on the highway, flexing the muscle. HeavyHaul nation.